What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also, you're hearing this for the first time on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2 as well. You can catch us, catch us out there in those streets too. He is Joique Bell, former Detroit Lion, 20-plus touchdowns in the National Football League. He's D-Mac Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, fish in the bowl.
4-time.
Just what'd I say?
Just 4.
I said 4, right?
Well, he was
but
he was giving me hype man stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He was giving me hype man stuff. You're not the only one who drops bars here. Come on, man, my hype man's over there.
4-time. Flint's very own Arturo in the production booth as well. He's holding it down. Got a great show lined up for you guys today. The Detroit Lions made their final cuts. That team is set. We'll discuss. I had an epiphany since yesterday. There was a lot of chatter on Twitter, Joique, about yesterday's episode, as you said. I got warm yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I got heated.
You got warm.
I got warm, which is cool. I qualified it. And as warm as I got yesterday, I have a good feeling after the cuts, which is kind of a weird thing to say. But we'll discuss. We'll break all that down. We got a lot of stuff to get to here. Lots of football in the air. Urban Meyer said that they considered the players' vaccination status when making cuts. The Jacksonville Jaguars have walked that back and said that was certainly not the case. Kirk Herbstreit says that Michigan Wolverine fans aren't that passionate. I know that's where this will end up with you guys, but that's fine. We'll discuss it as well. I love a good high school scandal. There's one of those as well. ESPN duped into televising that high school game with Bishop Sycamore.
That was the funniest. And I would think you guys saw this. So, I don't know if it was real, but I saw the meme on IG where they had a 36-year-old out there who tore his ACL playing in a high school game.
Bro, hey, are you guys fans of Key and Peele? Because this reminded me so of the introduction of the basketball players and all that stuff. That's pretty much.
I didn't see that, but I can picture it in my head of Kim doing something like that.
Yeah, so we'll discuss that as well. I mean, hey, the whole high school sports scene. I mean, this plays into a lot of the other stuff that I'll talk about. I got some thoughts on that as well. Rachel Nichols out at ESPN. She's considering legal action in that. Jimbo Fisher got a monster extension. I don't know why. We'll discuss that as well. A name, image, and likeness deal signed by the Ohio State quarterback that's got 2 commas in there. Like Kevin Gates had 2 phones. He's got 2 commas. 2 commas, Joique. It's popping off.
That means 7 digits, right, Neal? For all us concussed people.
At least 7.
Oh yeah.
At least 7 digits. But that's a monster deal.
Monster deal.
I gotta take my shoes off.
We'll discuss all that. But I mean, guys, I think you do have to start with the Detroit Lions and what's going on. And as an update, I know Anthony Pittman, Wayne State's own, made the team. I know you're out to him. The possibility we could talk to him. Yeah.
I talked to him yesterday and this morning. I'm definitely bringing him on the show. We're definitely going to sit back and talk. And I remember when I initially made the Detroit Lions, I had a former teammate, Darren Hayes, who was with ESPN, called and did an interview with me. I would love to have him on to do an interview and kind of pay it forward because I've been in touch with him from kind of his time getting to the Lions, practice squad, fighting to make the roster, and just not giving up because I've been around a lot of guys who they had opportunity to play special teams or just say practice squad. And after a while, they just end up giving up. But he didn't give up. He stayed true to his dream. He put in the work, and I'm happy for him. Shout out to Anthony Pittman. Shout out to Wayne State.
Joy, talk about that a little bit because even though we don't play anymore, but talk about the pride that you have because it reminds me, the name that comes up to you when it reminds me is Fred Jackson, right? A lot of Freddie J. Mentor, a lot of your knowledge that you learned was from a guy named Fred Jackson, from either how to take care of your body, how to be ready for games, but like that intelligence. So when you see somebody looking for that knowledge, which is what it seems that Pittman is, do you not take pride in that? It's the same thing I feel with like a Giovanni Smith or when he does things with the Red Wings that you have, or even when I played and won the last cup in 2008, the guys like the Jimmy Howards, the Darren Helms, the Abdicators, the guys that I grew up with, you follow them because you have a little bit of you in them.
I think And then also what falls in that, you see a little bit of you in that guy that you're going to and asking these questions because you've seen their body of work. You've seen where they came from. For me, I know Fred Jackson went to a D3. I know he played football in Europe. I know he came back and had to fight to make a team. I know all of those things. So I go to Fred Jackson and say, listen, I need your advice. What, and I remember he sent me that. He said, listen, even if you don't make this team, you have the goods. You can play in this league. We had another guy here that was from Division II, and you're better than him, and you're going to have an opportunity to play. And that's me watching you in practice, watching you in the games. You have it. And so me hearing that and him giving me advice about how to take care of my body, teaching me certain things about the game when we get down to the red zone, how to feel short. And so this is advice that he's giving me, but not only is he giving it to me, I'm taking it in, I'm dissecting it, and not only that, but I'm using that information on the field. And that helped me out a lot. And so how to block, how to slow down a defender's feet. And so the same knowledge that he gives me, I give to the younger guys who I kind of mentor in the league now.
And Joique, you've talked about this before, and you've said it this way, and I appreciate it because I've always thought that as well. Draft night, the people that get drafted. All right, cool. That is a great moment. Take that moment in, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Now you go to practice. No one cares. No one cares about the draft. And now I think there's another step that you talked about yesterday. Okay, you made the team.
Yeah.
All right, you're here now.
You're here now.
Keep the job.
And it's funny. So I'm not going to post this, but basically what I said to actually the last game I did was now the real work starts. Keeping and excelling at your craft is now the job. And so it's easy, like I said, it's easy to make your first million. It's harder to be able to keep and invest that to make more. And so you have to stay on your job. Honestly, you have to stay on top of it. And I think he will, man. I don't think he's worked this hard to get to this point to kind of, to digress.
And that's kind of what I thought, too. When I got my first break and called an NBA game, I remember sitting in that hotel in Washington, D.C., and I was feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever happens, if I never do another game in my life, I made it to where I wanted to go. And it was cool. It was real cool. But then the next day it was game time, and they were tipping the game, and it was time to perform.
I think the thing that you have to remember is take a look around, smoke a mirror. You deserve to be there.
Right.
But what got you there is your work ethic and your hard work and what you put in. So you can't rest on your laurels. Paul Coffey, Hall of Famer, used to tell me is the goon can't handle prosperity, and I never understood what that means. But it's pretty much sometimes when it be going too good, some of us have this self-destruction mechanism because it shouldn't be happening to me. Well, yeah, it should when you look back and you've done all the work. So that's the one thing. Do you have, how about in the broadcasting, is there a guy that you've mentored or coming up, or you see this in younger guys where they're asking questions? Because it's got to be the same thing for you.
It is. It's the exact same thing. I mean, Mario Mpemba is my mentor, my friend, the guy I go to for advice whenever there's an opportunity. How do I talk about contracts with people? All that kind of stuff. I mean, Mario Mpemba is my guy. He's one of the best broadcasters of all time. I'll always say that. And Mario told me, because I was facing those same doubts, like when I was doing radio with Mario and doing Oakland games, and our very first game was at Wisconsin. I felt those same doubts. I'm like, am I supposed to be here? Right. Like, do I belong here? Am I good enough to be here? I fought that for a couple years, man. I
think that's normal human behavior. But again, when you break down, like I said, don't tell me right or wrong, just tell me why. And the why is that when you fire yourself up because you've done all the work. And I know for you in particular, it's just not when, it's just when. And you got to get yourself on a journey and surrounded by the people that want to be on the same journey. And it can be different things. So you look at me, I got a whole bunch of different things going on, and there's different journeys with different people, but a lot of it is the same to get to the same spot. So we need those OGs.
And he always told me too, he said, if you're ever in a position to help somebody, do it. That's all. That's all I ask. Pay it forward, man. And that's exactly what you said.
So when you played, though, D-Mac, so who was your favorite mentor, and who was your favorite mentoree?
It's really wild. I would say that, like Steve Eiserman, obviously, and I joke that I learned from him that everybody is somebody's biatch. so to speak, because it was hard, tough love, you know. But like Chris Draper, who's grind like my best friend, he was always the big brother, always the lookout, always the one that I can go to in the worst and the worst times. You look at coming back in December of 07, having lunch with him and just saying, I think I got something left. I just want an opportunity, and I had to do the work. But it's people like that, you know, the Paul Coffeys, the Dino Cicerellis, you know, to this day, who's always been a great mentor. And then I think the big one, though, Joey Kosher. Joey Kosher, we call him Papa for a reason, and I think that it was just to understand, he taught all of us that you can have that fun, but when it's time, you know, business is business and pleasure is pleasure, and how to really be a pro. So that was, the talent was there, and it was just how more so off the ice, because sometimes that's where the hard part is.
Chad, but not that Chad, on our YouTube thread. If you want to get involved, too, you can get your comments known out there. Hit us up on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that while you're at it. You can also download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store, in the Google Play Store. Chad, but not that Chad says, what up to everyone? What up to everyone except the people who scheduled Bishop Sycamore to play on ESPN, which we'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. It's another sign of the times, I think, which we certainly will touch on. But, you know, if you wanted to bet on Bishop Sycamore, you'd probably be getting like 60 or 65 points if you did. Well, if you could, where would you go, D-Man?
We'll get to it, but if you know any of your betting, whether you're going to bet football, whether you're going to bet NASCAR, golf, it doesn't matter. Our studio sponsor, mybookie.ag. Yes, you must go there. And if you're first time, sign up. Use code Woodward for up to $1,000. Yes, 100% match bonus. Put in 100, you get 100. Put in 500, you'll get 500 more. It's just perfect. College football odds boost. Week 1 this week, even though it's week 2. But anyways, I digress. NFL lock of the season, over 500,000 contest prizes live on site to make this winning season your best ever with MyBookie. Now, go to mybookie.ag. Like I said, code Woodward, get up to $1,000. Match deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Gambling problem, call the National Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-522-4700. That was a mouthful. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. We're Big D Energy. Let's meet your 2021 Lions when we come back. Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from the MyBookie studios. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. D-Mac, Darren McCarty here, the 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Remember, you can catch us 4-time. Remember, you can catch us on the radio now on The Roar, 93.5 FM, Detroit's new all-sports station, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2. All you got to do is go to the station, hit it in the preset, you're ready to roll. What are you guys doing?
Neal, you were surrounded by children.
We were doing roars, then we did meows.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's our way of growling.
No.
That's a Flint Town growl?
No,
Yeah,
my roar is a
that's
Hollywood. See, that's a good, healthy roar.
All right.
No, that's...
See, D-Mac was a little impressed. He won't admit it, but he was impressed.
He was a little impressed. All right. The Detroit Lions made their final cuts. They're down to 53 men. Not a ton of surprises. Johnny Tavai did end up getting cut. It was time. Lions cut both their kickers. I mean, Joique, you're the resident expert as far as this goes. I mean, you know, and look, I see them working, and we have a tweet from our own Corey Woods, who's out there covering Lions practice. You want a good follow on Twitter, follow at Corey Woods with a K. He's out there doing a lot of work.
Man, he's grinding.
Yeah, he
you know
is.
what, man? He's hardest worker in showbiz. There. I don't know how he does it.
But there's a list, the released, the waived. And Joique, I guess I'll start right there. Break it down for me, released versus waived. You know, I had a couple people ask about that. What's the difference on that?
Well, same,
right?
Same
No,
thing.
any of these guys.
I think so. What happens? So when you're waived, right? So you get released, you get waived. What happens is a team has 24 hours, right? A team has 24 hours. This is the rules when I play. They have 24 hours to claim their contract. And so when that 24 hours is over, if no one's claimed your contract, like another team, so they can re-sign you to the practice squad. So a lot of those guys you see that may be cut, that's our young players, they might come back as practice squad players.
Right. And if you look at it, what they did structurally, as far as what the Lions did structurally, Darren, there is an emphasis on young talent. They have a ton of guys that are 24 years old or younger. And let me qualify this. And yesterday you guys heard me kind of erupt on the whole status of this roster. I did exclude the current regime from that, despite what some people wanted to hear. They might not have heard it that way. But with that being said, I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday, because the direction is very, very clear as to what they are doing. And I went ahead and looked at their salary table into the future. And 2023, once we get through 2023, that's going to be the year of delineation for me. That's when Trey Flowers comes off the books. That's when Jared Goff comes off the books. Any huge contract commitments will be gone. And, oh, by the way, that's when they'll have their multiple first-round picks. So what made me melt down yesterday about this bleak look on this roster is almost making me more calm here today, because the storm is coming. And, Darren, I go to you for this because you and I talked about this in the past with the Franz Nielsen thing. There are a lot of similarities with this Lions roster with where this Red Wings roster is, and that process is looking very similar to me. There's some contracts on those books that you can't do anything about. Vitai's another one. He's very, very cuttable in 2023. You just have to weather the storm. There's no other alternative.
The brilliance is, Neal, is yesterday you purged and cleansed yourself to be able to start over, because you're looking, and what does that say? There's a plan in place. And then I revert back to our football expert on the panel that I remember him saying 2 years of, we're going to see how it happens. They got us, this regime's got a 2-year window. And so that plays into when in football how things can change quicker. But in order to move forward, sometimes you got to tear it all down. So what you're telling me, Neal, is the mold. Yesterday we used it as the house. We got into the basement. There was mold. There was everything. So pretty much today, Balfour came in. Structurally, everything's sound. The environmental is sound. Everything's cleaned up. You're ready to build the house,
Ready
right?
to build the house, Joique.
I like it.
Yeah. Foundation is good. There's a couple surprises, though. With Mike Ford, I didn't know what was going to happen with Mike Ford, but I guess they like price upside. He was a good gunner, but a good special teams player, and so they end up bringing him back. And I think they like his upside for him being able to go from safety down to cornerback. So I'm not mad at, like I said, I'm not mad at the lineup. I'm not mad at our 53. Like I said, let's see how it goes. Let's build off this year.
Yeah,
let's stay positive.
And I am now. Look, both things can be true. I am positive about the structure of the roster, and critical at the same time. Again, current regime excluded. But the only thing that this regime has done to me that I didn't necessarily agree with, but I mean, who am I? I'm just a dude with a microphone. But they do give me a check, so I'll give you an opinion. That's how it works. But I don't like the restructuring, the adding the year of Goff's contract. But whatever. I mean. Okay,
some money.
That's what they did. That's what they did. I want the commitments to be over. I'm a guy that's huge again on that 2023 year. Goff's off the books. Trey Flowers off the books. Vaitai very, very attractively cuttable, because he's a $20 million cap hit right now. He's on the roster. You always talk about a numbers game, Joique. He's here. That's just the way it is. Yeah. So you got to deal with that. But the 2023, Joique, I'm planting my flag. Once we get through the 2023 season, that's when I think you can really judge this administration.
Okay, so I'm asking you right now, because you're giving them a pass right now.
I am.
Now, you giving them a pass on their record, or
yes,
that's it?
Yeah.
So what do you want to see out of the Lions this year? Like, I know what I want to see. Like, what do you want to see out of the Lions this year?
Real
talk? What do you want to see? Like, for me, you say I want to see, the head. This is first time coaching a full season. I wanted to see how he manages the
clock.
Manages the clock, the play calling. That's what I want to see from him. I want to see from Jared Goff. I want to see how he manages the game, the decision he makes, the chances he takes downfield, because he's going to take chances. I want that, but I want to see at what points, at what part of the game will he be taking these chances in. And so that's what I want to see. I don't really care too much for the record, but I want to be able to sit back and say, okay, we are improved with our defense just off better play calling. We are improved on our offense off of better play calling. And so I want to see.
Yeah, and you probably won't like my answer but I've always held firm with this. In the second you can't make the playoffs, the only thing that matters is your draft status. The second, and I get it. These guys are pros. You're a pro. You were a pro. You're out there playing for your money, for your food on your table. You're playing out there for your job, and I get that. And I'll never say the word tank because I'm not going to ask you to go out there and tank. I'm not going to ask you to go out there and tank because this is your profession. It's what you do.
No, that's never in our minds.
But the facts are, once you can't make the playoffs, the more games you lose, the better off the organization is. That is a fact. I mean, it's a mathematical fact.
But then doesn't that come down to coaching and scheme and using players differently and stuff? For me, right,
absolutely.
3 things. Progress every game, right? The effort, the 60-minute effort, which exudes the attitude of your coach, and intelligence. And what do I mean by intelligence? No pre-snap penalties. How do you manage a 2-minute clock? How does it look? Do you get better, make the adjustments at halftime? Do I see progress moving game to game by different players? Do I see if they're using different guys, the offensive line? But, offensive, defensive line is I guess, going to get the heat of it. And then you look at, can Okora come back? And just different things like that. Akuda,
that's a big one.
That's a big one. Does Swift stay healthy? So there's a lot of different things looking. To me, it's not wins or losses. Yeah. That'll figure itself out. It's attitude, and with foundation, it's how do you go out and play? Are you smart? And then it's hockey intelligence beyond 1 to 20 in the Red Wing locker room during our cup wins. That's what Scotty demanded. You're all superior, intelligent, your hockey IQ, right? We don't have that to 53 man. We got to learn that, but it's something that you can build and learn.
It's the depth, right? And that's one thing that kind of.
But there's not a lot of depth on this team.
It's not.
Because there's not a lot of high-level talent either.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so you got to also have to think that if we were to have an injury at a certain position, at a key position, say Jeff goes now, Akuda goes now, then understand we're going to that corner who comes in takes his spot is going to be attacked. They're going to attack that guy.
Right.
And so somebody goes down at the D line. We don't have depth there. Somebody goes down on the offensive line. We need depth, and we don't. That's something that we don't have. And so going through this season, I don't want to judge it off of our talent. I want to judge it off of our coaching and what plays are we calling.
And Joique, I think you and I are in lockstep with that because there's really nothing else you can do because this roster is so bare that you can't judge it off the talent. They've had one draft, and not only that, they haven't put themselves in a position yet because they can't, because of the math. They're not going to be prime players in free agency. I understand that. I get that. So, yeah, they've got a free ride for 2 years on me. They do, because I've circled that 2023 year when this roster, financially wise, becomes a lot more manageable. You have your multiple first-round draft picks that will be in the fold at that point. The foundation is very good. I mean, D-Mac, you talked about it. We've stripped the house. We've knocked down everything. We've poured the cement now for the foundation, and the cement is dry. So here we go. And with all that being said, this year, what I'm looking for is a top 5 draft pick. I mean, let's just be real about it, because no one's going to sit here and say, well, this is a playoff football team or anything like that.
I'm going to tell you this. I want us to have a bad season, and I also want the Rams to have a bad season.
I was just going to say, would you imagine getting our top 5 pick from the Rams?
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine us having 2 first-round picks in the top 10? Can you imagine that?
Hold on.
Hold up. What did my boy used to do here?
Yeah. Oh, looking in the glass.
We might have to go to Masland for that one.
Yeah. Looking to the magic glass. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where it is. And again, going back to that discussion, this seemed to make a lot of people uncomfortable that we're in our YouTube chat thread and social media and stuff like that. You need the Rams to have a bad season, which ultimately means Matt Stafford will have a bad season. But as I said before, he's gone, and he ain't coming back. So that's it, man. I'm about the Detroit Lions and what helps them.
No, he's not coming back, but we are going there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the bottom line,
maybe they can tie that. Oh no, maybe they can tie that game.
Yeah, right. The bottom line is, though, is you look at rosters throughout everybody except because Al Avila with the Tigers, but you look at what Troy Weaver did. He came in and gutted that roster and got, that's his team. You look at Steve Yzerman. He's wading through bad Kenny Holland contract. I think Dan DeKaiser's still on the books, but it's Steve Yzerman's team. The same thing with Brad Holmes. It takes time, but in 2 years, you see the light. You're not hooked in. You see the light and let them build. So
yeah, and I think the Lions and the Red Wings are in a very, very similar spot in that I've given you guys my feelings, Darren. I've given you my feelings on that. Some of the contracts that were on the books, that continue to be on the books for the Red Wings, they're hurtful. They are. I mean, they hurt your progression. All you can do with that is just let the time run. And you got to wait your turn. You do. I understand that. But the meltdown yesterday was more about the events leading up to today. And now today's here. And believe it or not, strangely, I feel calm. I understand what they were doing. I understand where they're coming from. I think it's a breakthrough. I really do. I think this is a breakthrough. And the DMAC, therapy couch was good.
Well,
why
is Fish clapping his hands in there?
No, I was clapping my hands.
No, Fish is clapping too.
Joique, you gave me some tough love yesterday, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, it's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love.
My guy.
Wait, what was that, Joique?
It's all love.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little dark for you?
Okay.
Yeah, Joique gave me some tough love. And you know what? I'm good. I'm here for it now. I broke down the numbers.
Well, and he wasn't too hot or cold about it either.
No, he wasn't.
Speaking of hot and cold, have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in the industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. And speaking of heating and cooling industry, we just got our windows tinted so we can have our windows up and that hot air isn't coming in, and so we can have the air conditioning off. But on a commercial, we're going to have Northwestern Tech come back out here and turn the air back on. If you want to learn more today,
if they know the PIN number,
northwesterntech.edu. I know the PIN number.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Hey, welcome back to Woodward Sports. This is Big D Energy. Joique Bell bringing you guys back in. Let me send it back to you, Neal.
Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that, JB. Listen to the professionalism. Yeah. He's growing up, man, right before our very eyes.
You know
He's
what,
growing
though?
up.
Because Art, you know what, man? Art, man, you need to go back because right now you're messing up. Now, you said during the show you was going to mess up.
No.
You did.
I did not
You need to go back to vaping. You need to go back to nicotine. You need to go back to
I quit vaping for a reason. It's day 3. It's a little tough. I'm doing fine.
You're doing tough because that's the first time you ever went to commercial without me saying Woodward Sports.
Listen, I've got a trigger
I hear what
finger.
you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but this is the first time. This is day 3. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
We'll send it back to you now.
No, I appreciate that. Got some thoughts and some reaction to the conversations we're having as we talk Detroit Lions. Dan Martin texts in and says, Ken Holland certainly had some epic failures with the contracts here. Also some good, I know, historic runs. But, you look at that, and he comes back to it too. Extending Applicator and Helm in terms and money, no one else would have gave them. But the final straw for me was that ridiculous offer to Franz Nielsen. He was a nice player, but for the terms and the dollars, it was ridiculous. And that Vitae, it looks like, is that Franz Nielsen contract for the Lions. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light. As you said, I see the light with the Red Wings. I now see it with the Lions. Yesterday was my darkest day. It was. But now I'm back on board.
Yeah, but you purged. You slowed.
I did.
Now you moved on.
I'm back, baby.
You got to be ready to be hurt again, Neal. You have to be ready to be hurt again and just have it in the back burner. Like,
no, but not for 2 years, though. It's like I'm on vacation.
Okay.
Like when you go to work on Friday and you got the next week off.
Yeah.
Wait, you're talking to Art every day?
Yeah. You know, Art, what I'm talking about.
Every day is a Monday. But
okay. You go to work on Friday. Not even your boss can mess stuff up for you, man. You got that bounce. You got that vibe.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's how I feel right now. And it's a 2-year vacation right now. I'm still going to watch because that's what I do. I never not watch. Even, in the heat of the moment, the worst I've ever felt, I've never not watched.
You know what?
I'm not going to go root for some other team. That's stupid.
You've inspired me to be great. I appreciate you, Neal.
No problem, man.
I appreciate you.
As Rocky said in Rocky 4, if I can change, and you can change, everybody can change.
Everybody can.
Those were some great...
Joique Bell.
Yep.
Not bringing up any names, but bringing up some names.
Why is my name always in your mouth?
I'm sorry. I just want your shoes.
No, you give him a little D energy.
That wasn't that funny.
Yeah, it was.
That was not
good.
that funny.
Yeah, we gotta give the kids their shoes too. Way to go, Art.
John Dawson says in our YouTube chat thread, Ruhl is still a tool. That's fine, John. I appreciate that. Randy White, wishful thinking if you think the Rams are going to suck. I mean, they're like every other team. They're at the mercy of the quarterback position.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that last year when they had some quarterback injury issues. Granted, they were a playoff team, but, I mean, it did end up catching up with them.
Again, you just skim past the fact that someone called you a tool. That is not Big D energy here, and they will be banned. They will be shunned.
No, don't ban. No. That's fine. No
one talks to my bro like that.
No, I'm more than cool with it. I'm more than cool with it. The check's still going to come, right? Talk to the accounting department.
I got 2
first
checks.
Still making trips to the bank, huh?
Yeah,
still making deposits.
Yeah.
Going to the bank and making deposits.
Yeah, absolutely,
That's
man.
what it's all
The
about.
check's still going to clear, right? So, this here's one too from Chad that Chad is said what I like about this team, this Lions team, is they're not afraid to admit when someone's a failure and they'll move on. I think that Brashard Perriman thing was a very big deal.
Huge.
Holmes
Because
is
it's sort
secure
of
enough in his
surrender is victory, especially in recovery and stuff like this. And we're in recovery with the Lions. So, I mean, you move forward. Yeah, $2 million against the camp, but in the long run, it's going to give an opportunity. The big thing is that I'm thinking for opportunities. So if you're a kicker or a wide receiver, you want to come to Detroit because the opportunities are there. And I don't look at the kicker thing as as much of a big deal because they're going to audition guys, even if they audition one every few years. We've been spoiled by kickers from Jason Hansen to Matt Prater. So that's sort of one of the final pieces. I know we brought up Mike Ford, and Joyce said, was mentioned what a great special teams and a gunner. But again, that's not a priority right now. Those guys you can find. You got to work inside out on this team and the lineup. So I'm with you, Neal. I just want to see them play smart.
Or are you? That's what you're talking about. I was talking about earlier. You talking about Price?
What's that?
Are you talking about Price?
Ford. Kick Ford.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah, Ford.
Right.
Ford. But I was saying that the special teams right now, as good of a gunner as he is and whatever, isn't a luxury piece. That's a luxury piece to have later on that you can fill in, sort of like a kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only notable thing I had.
Kicking might be a little bit more important than a gunner. Might be. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it determines.
No, but somebody's got to come
right?
in and own that. You got to come in and take that over and force them not. Like these guys obviously didn't do the job to the satisfaction of what they're looking for.
Or there was another better financial opportunity later. And again, you guys, we have to take this into account, and that's why I'll be preaching this for the next 2 years when we talk about this team. 2023 is my target date. They do things with an eye on the financial as well, and they let both these kickers go. I heard some people talking around town yesterday and today on social media. They were upset about the kicker situation. They're like, oh, well, we don't have a kicker now. Why do we get rid of Matt Prater? Clearly he's better. Prater got a $7 million deal from the Cardinals. That doesn't fit the MO right now. That has no place in this organization right now. Yeah, absolutely. Good for him. I'm happy for him too. But I'm happy it's not here.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter. You talked about luck.
Absolutely.
That's a luxury piece.
Absolutely.
And it's not needed.
Prater?
Yeah, Matt
Is
Prater.
a luxury?
He wasn't that great last year. I mean, people didn't realize that. But
okay, but are we going to go off 1 year? I mean, since he's been here, he's been game-winning field goals, one of the leading scores.
Yeah, absolutely, Joique. But you're going to give him $3.5 million? And with this roster, where this roster is right now with this team.
I would say you can go out there and get probably a better value, but as far as talent wise, like Matt Prater is probably one of the best kickers in the NFL,
and he's paid as such too.
Right, he's paid as such,
right.
And so I hate to see him go, but due to numbers, as we talked about,
I was you're the OG of the numbers game.
Yeah. So the numbers, then yes, but as far as talent wise, that's the guy with the track record who I can look and say I trust him in that particular moment. When the game's on the line, we need a 50-plus yard field goal. I think he's more comfortable kicking 50-plus field goals than anything under 50.
Right.
I mean, he's so accurate from back there. So, congrats to him, Prater, and yeah, man. Shout out to you, Cheetos.
There you go, your guy. CJ Schneider says Ken Holland wanted to win every year. That ended up being his downfall, which some people have said that in the past.
Who's that?
Ken Holland, the GM of the Red Wings, that lined it all up. Darren McCarty's boy.
What?
No. Talk about Kenny Holland. You know, you wanted to win in every year.
That's the luxury. You win the playoffs 25 years in a row, but at the end, you're making the first round. You can't get further on into it and stuff like that. So it's a detriment. It's yin and yang in sports.
Harrison Metzler says Ruhl's walking around with that big D energy right now. Sam Kim though says not banning someone who called you a tool proves that you're not a tool. See, Art, it's the long game. You got to play the long game.
But
no, man. I want
What
that.
is a tool? Like, isn't that is that a good thing or bad?
A tool's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
That's
what's the
No,
tool?
it's not. What if you're doing some home improvement?
Yeah.
Especially when we're
Okay,
out with the
if you're
Lions.
being
We're
literal,
in the house.
then
We need all
what
the
if I
tools.
was a 5-tool
We need all
guy?
the tools we can get.
Yeah.
It's a
It was 5-tool.
I've been known to be called a tool.
Well, it wasn't a good thing. Trust me.
Yeah, it was a good thing. I was because I consider myself. I had to be a tool. I'd be like a padre.
What is that?
A padre?
Of course,
what?
Art doesn't know what a
Power
power
drill.
drill
Of
is.
course you don't know.
Power drill. I thought you said a padre.
There we go. Exhibit A of.
If you would stop mumbling, I swear you said padre.
If you were a tool, what kind of tool would you be? 248?
He would be a plier. He'd be a plier.
I would be a jack.
I would be whatever a finesse tool is.
He'd be a plier.
Like one of those little screwdrivers that you use on your kids' toys.
And
or
that's
something
not
like
big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well,
All right.
that's why I bring you guys.
Hey,
along.
real quick, I want to tap on this a little bit more because this doesn't happen too often. All right, there hasn't been a Wayne State player playing for the Detroit Lions since I left. Bring our guy back up real quick, and I want to where he's standing right there. He's standing under greatness. You see that Wayne State football helmet?
I do.
That's the front entrance. That's the first door I ever walked through going into the Wayne State football locker room when I was going to Wayne State.
Were you the first NFL guy out of Wayne State?
No. We had Pierre Brown, who played wide receiver.
Okay.
He played about 2 years. We had another guy before him. Yeah, we had some.
Were you
we
like
had
the
some
longest career Wayne State guy?
I might be.
Yeah.
I might be.
Well, just like me working at a mid-major, and guys like Kendrick Nunn and Kay Felder and Keith Bell, like those guys go to the league. That hits different, man. Like I would imagine same thing at Wayne State. I mean, that gives everybody a bounce in their step.
And then also, what the great thing for him though, he's here at home, and then what happens is, some of the guys that you played college ball with. I remember when I was in training camp, we had a guy go to the Bills, Dante Dunn, and we'll watch him during training camp. So we'll go back to our dorms after practice, after meetings, and we'll watch him play his games, his preseason games. And we'll all go to a room. We're all excited to watch him play. I remember doing that my senior year. And so the following year, when I got an opportunity to play in the league, I also went to the Buffalo Bills. And I remember calling my best friend, and she was still at Wayne State at the time. She was worked the front desk, and she was working the front desk during Wayne State training camp. And so I remember I got my first touchdown against Washington, D.C., Washington football team, and she said she felt the building shaking, and all the players was like excited because I scored my first touchdown. And it's kind of, and that's the type of camaraderie we had at Wayne State. We love to see the people go. I remember when I left, we had guys come under me. Jake Long, little brother. He ended up going. He played for a while. You had Troy Burrell, who was the number one receiver, come out. He played with me on the Lions for a while. You had Jeremy Jones. He went to the Bears. And so I had some ballers who played on Wayne State team with me, who they eventually went on to the national championship game. And so it's exciting. It's very, very exciting to see guys that you play with or guys that you know have an opportunity to go play at the next level.
Yeah, congrats to Anthony Pittman.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Pittman. We're proud of you. Keep going. I told him at the beginning of training camp, I said, listen, he had commented on a post I had posted. I said, listen, I appreciate the love. Delete this app and just focus on training camp and making this team. He said, I got you. And I didn't hear from him again until after the cuts. And so he takes instructions. He's ready, and I think he's focused. I like it.
Certainly, but the Lions movement certainly is. It's in front of you, man. You know exactly what they're doing. I saw a tweet from Pride of Detroit that said 43% of their roster is 24 years old or younger.
You said that, and I'm not trying to be that guy, Joique, but it would be funny if he said that he deleted the app and he just blocked you for that time and he was still on Instagram. Like, that would...
that's something Art would do.
No, he didn't block me because I can still go to his page and see. So.
It was a joke, Joique. I was trying to just...
Wasn't good.
Never mind.
That wasn't a good joke.
Funny.
Don't even.
It wasn't a good joke.
Okay.
He was just like trying to be mean.
I wasn't trying.
You're a mean girl.
I'm trying to
You're
be
a mean girl.
Look at who I'm surrounded by.
You're a mean
Meanness
girl.
everywhere.
Look at your face. I sent you a video yesterday on something that's been plaguing you for years, and
On
that's
the
how you come
alopecias.
and that's how you treat me.
No, it was
That's how you treat me.
$164 for pills. I don't have that kind of money. It was for the alopecias. I do appreciate it, though. That was nice of you.
You know, I'm never thinking. So what happened was I was on the store. I saw a friend post something about alopecia. I'm like, oh, I instantly thought of Art. And it's like a story. So the story goes from one story and then plays the next story and then plays the next story. And after they played that story, the next person in line to watch the story was Art. And I said, oh, what a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences. So I said, you know what, let me send this to Art so he can take a look at it.
Which was nice. It was nice of you.
I know it was nice. And you come here with that smug face with those...
I did like your post before that, though. Your post before that was nice. It was a picture of a father bathing his children in a building that had been bombed and say, basically appreciate good days. Like, not your bad day is somebody's best day. And so I got a double entendre or whatever it's called out of it. So thank you, Joique.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to elevate you. I'm trying to give you good vibrations, not vibrators.
No, good vibrations.
Good vibrations. There we go. Good job.
Yep.
Like Marky Mark.
Did you see the producer extraordinaire of all time, Tom Masway? You can catch on the bottom line with Braylon Edwards and Ryan Armani on Woodward Sports from 2 to 4, and also on the FM stations.
Yep.
But he says the Lions are second youngest next to the Jets, and you know who the oldest is? The Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah, Bears are, which is weird because they have a young quarterback.
I get it.
Yeah, it is. They're right at the mix. It's like I talked about. They know, man. Khalil Mack that deal is ticking right now, and his window is ticking. And they invested a lot to get him. They got to make their move. I will be really curious to see how long Andy Dalton lasts. I got a feeling it's not going to be long.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I don't.
It's my time. It's my time.
Yeah. It's been your time for a couple years there.
For a couple years.
No, but it's very apparent what this Lions roster is going towards. They're going young. They're going more affordable. I love it. I love the way they're setting things up financially. 2023, guys.
2023.
Believe.
Do you think that maybe they'll cut through the competition?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, though? If I was anything of a tool, I would be Machete. Anyways, you too can be Machete. CoastPortland.com. WSN 20 for 20% off. Obviously, we're talking about the do-it-yourselfers, the outdoorsmen, first responders, everything from headlamps to knives to machetes like I have. And you too can get them how? On Fridays. Yes, just in a couple days. Any way you Woodward Sports Network, hashtag How We Coast, and I, Darren McCarty, will be giving away a gift certificate for $100 to CoastPortland.com. Go on the website, check it out. If you can't wait, use WSN 20 for 20% off. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America, Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/Chopper Shop.
Back at it here, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion, in the house as well. Extra hello right now if you're listening on The Roar, 93.5 FM, Detroit's new all-sports station, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2, WCSX HD2 as well, that crystal clear HD. I got that programmed in the car. I have that bumping around town. Listening to the morning show, all of it. So you guys can follow along Woodward Sports Network on the radio if that's your flavor. The YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, download the app. however you want to do it, we got you. All right? We got you. And I know a lot of you are out there listening and taking in the show, and certainly we do appreciate that. Nick says on our YouTube thread, you don't need a kicker if you know you're not going to score. So, I mean, it's facts.
Or maybe we're going for 2. Maybe it's Madden Bowl.
Dan Campbell joked about that today, I guess, when he talked to the media. He said, we're going to go for 2 a lot. So, so there you have that. But again, I'm here for it. I like it. Some other NFL news, and this was big because A, I knew this was going to happen at some point, and B, I was curious to see if people would stand up for it. Old Urban Meyer, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, he said that they considered players' vaccination status during their cuts, and the NFLPA is working on investigating that. We have a couple of tweets. Here's the quote from Urban Meyer, who said everyone was considered. That was part of it. That was part of the production. Let's start talking about this. Also, is he vaccinated or not? Can I say that was a decision maker? It certainly wasn't our consideration. Now, the Jaguars have released a statement today walking that back a little bit. But it's clear. It's clear. Urban Meyer does what he wants.
Hey, is that so college Urban Meyer?
Yeah, a million percent.
Right there. Well, listen. Oh, by the way, now it's everybody has a backtrack to that, but I'd like to see, did he backtrack? The organization
put out
right?
a statement. Yeah, the organization put out a statement, and they essentially, like I said, they kind of backtracked on that. So, I mean, Joique, I'll go to you on this as well as somebody who was, part of the players' union, was a player in this league. You're talking about jobs here. This is different.
Yeah, it's funny because if you look at I posted today on Twitter because obviously I knew this was going to be a topic today, and I don't really understand why. Yesterday we talked about how the vaccinated players are going to be also the players that are going to get tested least than the unvaccinated. And so, but science shows that even though you are vaccinated, you can still contract and spread the virus. And I think when we had that last jump, it was the vaccinated people spreading it because they didn't have to wear a mask, because we thought that, I don't know if they thought they couldn't spread it. The science, we were still doing research on it, but for him to come out and say that in the temperature that we are, that we're in right now, not just as a country but worldwide. I don't think you should say that, even if you don't mean it.
Right.
Even if you're, I don't think it's a joking matter, but if you say that and how people feel so strongly either for or against it, and just to make it clear, I'm neither against it nor for people who decide to get it or not get it. That's your decision.
It's your call.
It's your call. And every choice comes with a consequence. I always tell my kids, every choice you make comes with a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And so, for me, don't say that. And then on the other end, I think that shouldn't weigh in on a player being able to play in this league or not because of his beliefs. Now, what they're trying to do is take away people free will, and I'm not for that. Let them do their own research, because they're not going to tell a person they can't play, they don't get the flu shot. So if it's going to be that way, make it that way across the board.
Yeah, and people have every right to be skeptical, Joique. I think we've proven as a society time and time again.
Yeah.
You should be skeptical
of
everything that people say, because everyone has a narrative.
Yeah, because you had one of the directors from the CDC come on to say that you getting the vaccine is not going to stop you from spreading it, and it's not going to stop you from contracting it. And this is one of the directors of the CDC. And then so if it's not going to stop me from those two, the only thing that is going to do for me then is minimize my symptoms. And at that point, that should be up to that particular person to decide whether they want to get the vaccine or not. And so it's just a lot of research you have to do. And for me, I just have to do more research. I have to see more studies. That's just me personally.
Yeah, and I 100% respect that, man.
Yeah.
That's you. We have an intelligent conversation about it. We talk as adults. It's weird, man. I didn't spit on the floor and run out of here. You didn't spit on the floor and run out of here. It's real crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder how we were able to do that, Joe.
But the thing is, as a country, we have to be able to have these dialogues and have these conversations where we can, either educate, talk about it, and then also have references, because I don't like how the media try to oversimplify this very complex virus. It's very complex. All right, and so I want to make sure I understand it before I, go injecting my body with something that I know very little about. Just because they say you should get it because of this, and then you hear all these different things that's going on with people who get the vaccine, and it works for a lot of people. Some people, they has a negative side effect, and so let me do my research.
Yeah, Bill Belichick was quoted in the media today too. Bill Belichick said, "Your implication that the vaccine solves every problem has not been substantiated. The number of players and coaches and staff members who have been infected with COVID after being vaccinated is a pretty high number. I wouldn't lose sight of that." And I don't. Again, I have my beliefs. Joique has his beliefs. I'm not telling the flag and telling you what you should do. I'm not qualified to do that. However, I am saying that there is some basis to Bill Belichick's status. And the bottom line is, I just can't. You're talking about people's jobs. You're talking about spots on NFL rosters, and you know it's happening. Well, Urban Meyer said it, Darren. It's happening.
Well, you look at football, but you look at the landscape, and it's happening. In our field with you look at Leiter, John Smoltz with the Major League Baseball Network, and there's, like Joique said, consequences for every action. Now, consequences sounds like such a negative word, but there's positive consequences to different things. And you know what? To live in this country, you should be able to be in charge of your own body and to choose whether you do or you don't. But it's one of these things that there's no right or wrong answer. It needs the communication, in my opinion, because when Joique says to me, there's not enough research or there's proof to that. Yes, when Bill Belichick comes out and says, this is the way that he feels. Yes. When Urban Meyer comes out and says that and then they backtrack it, well, you can't take, you don't take it back because he's sort of being honest, and it's sort of learning the pro way, right? That's the college way. So with all this, I think that's whatever way it goes, that we're going to still be coming about it. All I want is people to respect each other and respect other people's, decisions and what they have to do. But again, we see this going to different sporting events that you have the vaccine cards, and that's, consequences, positively or negatively, whichever way you as a human being have to decide which way you're going.
And Darren, that's a great point, I feel like, by you, because of the college thing versus the pro thing. Joique, it's different, man. You got guys making millions of dollars. You got players that you got to take the temperature of the room.
All right, here you go. All right, here you go. Jonah Hadley. Why does no one have problems that we get the polo vax as children, and it's mandatory at many other places, but with the COVID one, everyone has issues? It makes no sense. It does make sense because it hasn't been enough research done on COVID. There's been research done on polo. And then what events or when have you ever had to get on a plane and show that you've been vaccinated for polo to go to like California or to go to Texas or to, they don't ask you these questions about polo. They only ask you these questions about COVID. And so it's different. I want to compare the two. I don't think that's a good comparison. That doesn't make any sense. And so, but no, I think it's everyone's free will. And then if you don't want to be vaccinated, then you just go through the protocol in order for you to be able to either have that job or play that sport. I don't think you should make it mandatory. But, everybody has their own business and they run it how they want to run it.
Yeah, but I'm curious more about just the Urban Meyer thing from what Darren said, Joique, because I want to get your take on that, because this is something that we're seeing. What was the big question mark with Urban Meyer? He's a college coach that got to rule with absolute authority, where even in the town of Columbus, you don't question what Urban Meyer is doing. But Joique, I'm curious to get your take. Now you're in a locker room where there's 10 guys that make more money than you do. There's 10 guys that you got to get on your side that are willing to go to battle for you and willing to fight for you. There's a totally different dynamic. That's real, isn't it, Joique? That's real.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you're in a locker room full of men. And so we don't put anyone on a pedestal. I mean, we respect everyone.
Sure.
We respect everyone, but it's just having these conversations in the locker room, having these conversations with the team. The same way teams were having conversations last year when it came to racial injustices in our society, the way they were able to stop practices and be able to say, listen, we're going to talk about this every day till we come up with some type of conclusion, or not a conclusion, but some type of procedure or some type of process where we can understand each other and where each one is coming from. They used to have these same conversations with this as well. educate people on the science of it. Like, what did we learn? And to have people bring those same studies to the meeting and like have a doctor come and kind of explain it, like a PhD who can explain kind of what's going on, because you can't believe everything you see on the internet. You can't. You want to get trained professionals to come in and kind of educate you on kind of what this virus is and how we're attacking it, and this is what we found so far that should be the best practice.
Is the Urban Meyer thing going to work in Jacksonville? What's your gut say? Just
Only
seeing stuff like this.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But historically, in Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't been that good of a program, but or organization as far as winning. But we have a coach that's used to winning at the college level. I don't know if that's going to transition to the NFL. I don't know too many coaches.
Yeah, and why does it never work?
It does work sometimes. Like Pete Carroll, it worked.
Right.
So you have some people.
There's one, but many have failed.
But many has failed. That's why I want to say all failed.
Yeah.
I want to say many have failed. And so I remember it was funny because when I think Pete Carroll, he coached in the NFL and then went to college and he came back. And I remember that when he would go to the practices, I'm not going to say which player it was, but one of the players he coached said, "Why are you so happy? We're here to work. We don't want to have fun. We want to work." And when he went to college with kids, like, they want to have fun and enjoy the game.
Right.
He took that same, it's a new generation. So when he was able to take that same type of energy and take it to Seattle, I just think it's a mindset. I think it's a mindset. And I know the players who play for Urban Meyers in college, they swear by him. And I think that's very important to have players that's going to go to bat for you time and time again. Now, that's on the field. I don't know how his remarks off the field is going to control. Yeah,
I think he's set up to succeed. If he's going to succeed, obviously having Trevor Lawrence, obviously getting the ability. But to your point, Joique, he's got to bring in the old and the new and combine it. And I think what you find here is just him being the honesty, or the Ohio State, or just Urban Meyer being Urban Meyer. Hey, this is the way it is. And
I rule with absolute authority. Right.
Yeah, it's just something that maybe he's got to learn the NFL way and not let the cat out of the bag so much.
Do you think it's going to work, D-Mac?
It's one of those things. It's sort of like I could see it working and I could see it not working.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just think that with the vibe, and it goes to what I'm going to say, culture and ownership. And I look at the Khan family with what they're doing in AEW, what they do in the Premier League. So it's not because they're not putting people in the right position. They brought Urban Meyer in. If somebody can do it, anybody, who's the only other guy from college that you'd expect? Nick Saban, right? But he ain't going anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see if their old ways, the ways that Joique was talking about, the guys that used to play for him, love him, if he can make that into the pro. Because there's a slight difference, too, because guys are getting paid and they have kids and they're adults. So as long as you're treated like men and respectfully, it'll work.
Steve R says, I think Urban will go in like Saban going into the NFL thinking he's actually got pull, LOL. And that's my concern with Urban Meyer, is the absolute authoritarian. It's not going to cut it, man. When you got a guy on a max deal, man, I just don't think it's going to cut it. But, hey, we're pulling up on lunchtime right now. You know what that means you can do? You can go Greek with Papa Romano's. For a limited time only, Papa Romano's is introducing their new Greek pizza. It's a classic blend of bold Greek flavors, tasty Mediterranean toppings, tomatoes, onions, olives, feta cheese, and more. Get a large Greek pizza for just $16.99. Opa!
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back. Second hour of Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Fish in the Bowl. Flint's own Arturo in the production booth as well. Woodward Sports has you covered for the best high school football matchups in the state of Michigan on the Woodward Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This Friday night, Southfield A&T at Birmingham Groves. Chad Bush will have the call with Stick, so make sure, if you're a high school football fan, make sure you get out there tonight. I'll be at the Fraser High School game doing the PA tonight, Joique.
You doing the PA?
Yeah, I roll out whenever I can make it on the schedule. I'll roll out and do it.
Boy, they scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Absolutely. They were up against it, and they said, hey, who else could we get? So I'll be out there. So shout out Fraser High School. Get it done.
Yeah.
I'm friends. I graduated with the coach. And I texted him this morning, and I was kind of getting the Bishop Sycamore feel, like his take on the Bishop Sycamore thing, which we'll get into in a little bit. We're going to get into it a little bit. But, yeah, I got some stuff for it, too.
Yeah.
I said, any truth to the rumor you're getting Bishop Sycamore on the Fraser schedule this year? He said, no, I'm going to leave and go coach Bishop Sycamore, though. So.
Oh, my God.
But I couldn't confirm those rumors, though. I couldn't confirm those rumors. So Coach's glad he's not.
It's funny because, speaking of that, my son has a game tomorrow night.
Are they playing Bishop Sycamore?
No, I think they asked him off the schedule.
No, because they were going to get that easy dub.
Yeah, easy dub. But you know what's funny? So with my nephew, he's at Olivet now. So one thing I used to do with him, like on game day, like in the morning, pick him up about 5:36 before, take him to the gym. We do the hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, and then I take him through like a little, I guess, a little maintenance work, stretch him out, and it's kind of good because I can keep that same routine with my son now. So it's kind of dope.
Cool.
Yeah,
that is cool. Just show them the inner tricks of the trade.
Yeah, they got to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Big hello to everyone listening to The Roar, 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2 as well. Detroit's new all-sports station. They'll be carrying all the Woodward Sports Network programming.
Awesome.
Hawkamania.
You like that? Yeah.
Somebody said on the YouTube thread, they said you're looking fresh today.
Fresh, yeah. I was doing the Coliseum Chopper Shop stuff that we've seen the commercials for. So Mark and I were doing some things, getting ready to unveil the bike in a few weeks where people can get in and get their tickets. And I say it's unbelievable. If you have ever seen a Harley Davidson to take the old sort of 50s style of Army Harley Davidson and then combined it and made it sort of 2021. It's pretty cool, and hopefully whoever wins it will love it. So
absolutely. Well,
thanks for the freshness.
If they're a Michigan fan, they'll love it. But you know what they might not love? Kirk Herbstreit was on social media, actually on Barstool, on the podcast Pardon My Take, and had some words about Michigan football, the state of the program, Michigan fans, all of that. Kirk Herbstreit doesn't think that the Michigan fans are very passionate. And I know that we have the quote around here where I'll be able to get you that. But, it's one of those things for Kirk Herbstreit where he says they're not as passionate about sports. It's almost like, yeah, we went to the game, but we're running companies. We're doing other things. We've got other things going on besides football. Our lives are bigger than if we win or lose on Saturday. And he compared that to Madison or Happy Valley or maybe some spots in the SEC where the people that live there, their days are dictated by whether or not their team wins the game. So, Joique, you've been in this industry for a minute now. You've had interactions with Michigan fans and things like that. Do you think there's some validity to what he said? I do, to a degree.
That they're not passionate?
I think they're not passionate, but there's reasons for that.
I think they are passionate. When we talk about passionate, are we talking about people that's not going to the game to support them? Like, what do you? I don't get what he's trying to say. They get one of the biggest college football teams in the country. I don't get it.
It's hard.
I grew up a Michigan fan, so I'm always passionate about UofM football. So win or lose, the same way people are passionate about the Lions football organization. We haven't won the championship or Super Bowl, but they're still passionate about the Lions. But you're still passionate about the Lions.
Yeah, but there's still a degree of malaise though with Lions fans. Where if you got everybody in a room that was a Lions fan, and you asked them, hey, you got to bet your mortgage payment. Are the Lions going to make the playoffs or no?
That has nothing to do with being passionate, though. That doesn't mean.
I think it does. I think that has an impact on your passion.
No, it doesn't.
I think people are out mowing the lawn or raking the leaves.
So you're a conditional fan.
Yeah.
So you're a conditional fan. So your only love for your team is when they're winning. You don't want to see them when they're down. You're not supporting.
Joique,
that's when they need you the most.
Joique, when a team wins, you're more involved. You're more emotionally involved. You're happier with it. You consume more of it.
Loyalty.
It's proven.
No loyalty.
No, it's proven.
Loyalty.
Check the ratings. Check the news ratings. Check the newspaper sales. Everything,
I know people like
man.
a winner. People like a winner.
Right.
But
like
a fan sticks with their team.
What
don't be no
just said
bandwagon.
is you're a bunch of fair weather fans in Michigan. And here's the thing, but how is that true when you still, like, I guess right now you don't have much to cheer for and go, but it's still a family. It's a tradition thing. Even through COVID and stuff, they still sell 100,000 seats. I mean, that they still put the people in the building. So I think there's other interests. I think he's right when they're saying there's other options. We're talking about other sports teams that are here and now, but when they're good enough, they just haven't been good enough. And what do I mean by that? Every other team you mentioned's won a SEC, Big Ten, something, done something. You know, when the basketball program's good, people are behind it. That you look at the tournament and things like that. I think that's just from an Ohio State guy. Just it's sort of like the Wings. It was easy to be a Wings fan post 97 to 2008, even when we did lose, because we had the pedigree there. You have the ability. So,
but even before that, though, there was once Yzerman got on the scene, there was an upward trajectory that you could see, and they had the series against Edmonton when Edmonton was winning like every Stanley Cup. They had some upward trajectory.
Maybe the question here is because the lack of the passion is because where is the future? You mentioned with the Lions, you see 2 years down the road, and we've all mentioned that. Okay, so as a Lions fan, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to kick back, and the next 2 years don't matter. We're still waiting for Michigan. What are they? Who are they? Where are they going? So, I mean, I'm going to put, you're right. I might go cut the grass, but still, as a fan, I'm going to watch at the beginning until they disappoint me and then go do it. But
Joique says you're not a fan then. You have to sit there and watch it the whole time.
If you're a diehard fan, but I'm not a diehard Michigan fan.
Sometimes people can be so passionate, and when their teams are getting that bus kicked, it's just like, oh, I can't watch this because it's hurting my heart.
I can't watch suffering. Yeah. Like I used to say, catch me at the LCA an hour before the game, walking around eating smothered nachos, barbacoa, because you probably won't see me past the first intermission because you don't give me a reason to stay because you suck. Well, now they give me a reason to stay. Now I make it through most of the games, and that's not when I'm working at the Joe. It's when I'm there as a fan and cheering. So now more so not. Give me something as a fan. That's where we're at, right? I'm just not going to show up because you have the jersey. Because you can go gimme everything because you can get everything from everywhere else. It's not like 2, 4, 7, 9. You had to, at 8 o'clock, if you weren't sitting in front of the TV, then there is no replay. There's no thing back. So people can be more selective.
That is true.
Right? So it's just, you don't just have Saturday Michigan game, Sunday Lion game, right?
You have every game.
Everything.
I know, and that's my biggest, that's the thing I'm most sad about, Joique, like being a parent. My kids will never know what it was like to say, hey, I want to watch a show and it's on Friday at 8 o'clock. And if you're not in front of the TV Friday at 8 o'clock, you don't see it.
I'll give you the prime example.
Everything is there at their fingertips.
It's a weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Weekend from school. 7 o'clock. Super Friends,
man.
Up ABC, watching it. And you couldn't, if I had to get up for school at 7 o'clock, not a chance. But stuff like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you got to yell at me 5 times for school, but I'm there with a cereal ready for 7 a.m. at 6:55 because I ain't missing that show. That's what I remember from you.
And that's where it is. And Sam Kim says on our YouTube thread, I think that this thread proves that Herbstreit's right. There is apathy as far as Michigan fans are concerned. And I do think he's right because the payoff's not there. And once the payoff isn't there, consumers are out. And I think it is almost like they're consumers more than they're fans. That they're not getting what they feel is fair value, so apathy is set in.
No. I don't even get what he's trying to say here. Like, I know what he's trying to say, but I don't think that's the truth. I think they have the people that are fans of Michigan, who are diehard fans of Michigan, going to be at that. They're going to be at every single game. They're going to sell tickets every single game because why? It's the big house. It's the big house, the biggest.
At some point,
the biggest stadium in the country.
I've been there. You've been there. Like college, everyone's been there now. Like that's not. That wears off, man.
It has not because they're still selling out.
When Ohio State's up 42-17, it doesn't look too full.
It is full. It might not look full, but it is. They bought the tickets. They bought them tickets.
Absolutely.
They're in there every Saturday. You go to a Michigan football game. You show me one game that's under 100,000.
We've seen that before. We've seen that before when you had to buy 2 liters of Coke to get tickets and stuff like that. We've seen that before. Don't be fooled, Joique. We've seen that
But
before.
I think it's the fact that when you're trained regionally, no matter what it is, it's like with the territories in wrestling that you grow up, you're supposed to either be a Michigan or Michigan State if you're from here. Well, now you don't have to be. You have the option to be. You can be friggin' Oregon if you want, or something like. So I think the luster's
I'm
gone.
tell you this.
You need to back it up with some sort of success.
I'm gonna tell you this. It hurt my heart. My son's an MSU. He's an MSU fan. Hurts my heart.
Why?
Hurts my heart.
Why?
Because if it was MSU basketball, then I wouldn't trip. But I was a UofM football fan growing up.
But why can't you be both?
Huh?
Why can't you be both?
You know what? I don't think you can go. I don't think you go. You know what? Even like if you go to either school, if you go to MSU, you have to be MSU everything. If you go to UofM, you have to be UofM everything.
But
because that's the school that you're at.
I get it, but at the end of the day, that can be your one. But why can't Michigan be your two or whatever? Like it's the same thing.
Now this is how it is in the GLIAC. And it's not like this in the Big. I don't know why it's not like this in the Big Ten. But one of my biggest rivalries was Grand Valley.
Yeah,
and you know, and I disliked them to the core. But whenever they left the GLIAC to go play any school outside of the GLIAC, I always rooted for them because they were representing our whole conference. So whenever they went to the finals, I represented. I mean, I rooted for them. So I remember when I was in, it wasn't Mobile, it was Florence, Alabama, where the championship game was at. And at the same time, I was up for the Harlan Hill, which is the Division II equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. And they have a dinner 2 days, like a night, before the game, like 2 nights before the game. And so what they do, they take the 3 contestants that's up for the Harlan Hill and they play a video. The 2 teams that's in the championship game are both there. Each team have their own tables. And so they played the quarterback who was up for it. They played like a minute video for him. Then they played a minute video of the other quarterback. And then my name came up. And before they played the video, all of Grand Valley stood up and gave me a standing ovation because
that's cool.
Because I was representing them because I went to a GLIAC school. And so when they did that, I grew that much more respect for them. Still didn't like them, but I had a lot of respect for them, and I respected what they did. And so during their game, I was actually on their sideline rooting for them, wanting them to bring it through. They ended up losing, but I wanted them to win. And so that's what we have in the GLIAC. The Big Ten is not like that. All right, and we'll talk about this on the show before when Sean was here, we talked about we don't understand why it's not that way, because when a team goes to another conference, they're representing your conference, or they go play another team in another conference, they're representing you guys as well. And you want to be known as the best conference in college football, so we want them to win. And so that was my mentality. I don't know what other people's mentality may be, but that's what it is for me.
Well, I'll give you an example, and here's the equivalent with me and how it works, because I think basketball is different than football, because when you go to I could see it when you're in the playoff. If you're a Michigan fan, yes, you should root for Ohio State, because what do you get if Ohio State wins and goes to the championship game?
I don't know.
A check.
But
you get a check.
You get a check.
People of the Big Ten get a check. And
they get a
that's
check.
My thing.
They level up in their bank account. And I told you about levels and center line now open. Come experience the next level in cannabis on Sherwood between 9 and 10 Mile. Download the app today and start collecting points so you can level up. Search Enjoy Levels in Apple and your Google Play stores right now. I think Art might have some product right now from Levels. You do?
I do.
Hey, make sure you stop by Levels today and let them know that Big D Energy sent you. Woodward Sports, stay tuned.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house as well. If you're listening right now, maybe for the first time on the Roar 93.5, Detroit's new all-sports station, 99.1 FM or 94.7 HD2. That's WCSX, their HD2 station. We appreciate that as well. We're everywhere. People on YouTube interact, and you want to jump in the discussion as well, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and fire off those comments. Lots of Michigan fans making their voice heard on this. Sam says Michigan has more fair weather fans than before. They're becoming a Pac-12 team fan base. Next thing you know, they'll be showing up in the second quarter, leaving in the third quarter. Chad, but not that. Chad says Big House is pretty quiet. There's lots of old blue bloods in the stands who don't get hyped up. Steve Shattuck says the most passionate U of M fans are the ones that never took a class there, like me. LOL. Hey, Stab, I'll give you credit. Like you're one of the real ones about it. That's cool. Chuck Brewer says, we don't care that we lose to OSU, ? We care. There's nothing we can do to change it. Absolutely nothing. And that's the and Joique, that's my point. See, that's a fan saying that. You've always said, and I know this is the case, you've always said when you were an athlete, you never stepped out on a field where you didn't think you were going to win. Never once in your life did you think that.
No, I give you that. It was times where I stepped out there on the field in State College, and I knew I was going to have to be a workhorse in order for us to win this game.
Right.
Like, I knew it. In some games, I did. Some games, it didn't work.
Right. But the fans are at that level where they're essentially walking on the field knowing that they can't win. They know they can't win. It's been 15 of the last 16. I think a numbness has set in for Michigan fans with it, and we're seeing it.
I think it's been a while. I think through the COVID and everything. I think, could you imagine if they played OSU last year instead of canceling that game and got whooped on where you're sitting now? But the reality's sort of setting in, and I think it's just give me something to cheer for. That's where it's not like we're not going on our laurel. And think about it. Like, if you're a Michigan fan with everything going on, forget on the field, off the field too. You've taken, a beating, so I can understand how your fan could be down for the university.
Right.
You know who took a beating? Bishop Sycamore took a beating. And I did want to touch on this real quick. We have an NFL update for you. The Saints and Packers will play Week 1 in Jacksonville. So the Superdome will not be available because of the hurricane moving through New Orleans. So the Saints and Packers will play Week 1 in Jacksonville. Does that upset the routine a little bit, Joique? That will be upsetting for the home team.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think it was one year they played a game at I can't remember. Somebody played. Was it the
Vikings
Bills
and the Giants?
The Giants.
I think it was a Viking and the Giants.
And they had a game. Was it the Jets?
Yeah, I don't remember. Vikings were in it. I remember that.
Yeah, but they were playing a game. I think, and the Vikings in their roof caved in, and they had to come play here in here in Detroit. And so it'll be something. It will suck for the home team because you lose a home game. But for the away team, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And it was close to a sellout, if I remember, too. The fans were hyped for that. The Lions fans rolled out because they said, finally, NFL football's here, ha, 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 that bit.
Yeah, but, it was sold out because they were giving out free tickets. Who's not going to go see a free NFL game?
Yeah.
They were giving out free tickets. So let's make sure we put that out there, too. It was free tickets. So, but, no, I think it's smart, though. Player safety is number one.
Yeah, absolutely. And, absolutely hope everything's all right, down there in the Louisiana area. But they just seem to get this every 8 to 10 years, man, where just a nasty one rolls through.
Yeah. And, on the anniversary of Katrina.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully everything's all right there. One place where things were not all right was on ESPN this past weekend, where and look, a lot of you that are college football fans, about the IMG Academy, and basically it's an athletic factory that masquerades as a high school where you have the best of the best all across the United States and internationally too that go there and play. They were on ESPN in a high school football game against a school called Bishop Sycamore. So Bishop Sycamore, apparently they lied about the number of Division I recruits on their roster. They lied about the fact that they're an actual
that guy is
physical
right there,
school.
With the blue shirt on.
Yeah.
Gosh,
those dudes are going Division I. I forget the exact number of what it was, but there were a lot of D1 prospects that were on, the IMG Academy, as you might see. And Bishop Sycamore
said they had about 6 guys that were D1 players, but they couldn't find those guys' names anywhere in the database. And so, look, they don't even have a D line.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, too, which I never understood why this all went on and why the Bishop Sycamore people perpetrated this fraud because did they think like the national media wasn't going to find out that they don't have a physical school, and come to find out it's like an online school where there aren't really students? It's kind of this thing. Some of the players are 22 years old or however it was.
Is it really that
the coach had a fraud charge against him that's pending.
Yeah, so is ESPN, listen, is ESPN really not doing research before they go to these games?
Well, come to find out, too, there's a media company that arranges these matchups. That ESPN hires this company. The company is supposed to vet everything. And that company turns out that they admitted, because they wanted to jump on the sword for ESPN because they like the checks they get from ESPN, so they're going to continue to want to set these matchups. They came out and said we didn't vet these matchups.
They just lost this contract.
Well, no, because they jumped on the sword. ESPN said that they're going to continue to use them. And, everything's going to play out fine. They're going to throw all the arrows at this Bishop Sycamore.
Oh, God.
So come to find out, this wasn't the first go-around for the Bishop Sycamore coaching staff, that they had done this before with another different high school. They're not in an actual high school conference. The whole thing. But the whole thing, what did we expect, man? We're in the day and age of fake recruiting sites. Fake recruits. Kids make up recruits that get on the national scene that aren't real people and all that kind of stuff.
Kenneth Duke said, lack of D-line, ? The Bishop Sycamore recruit Matt Patricia as a consultant. Come on, man. Y'all gotta chill.
No.
Y'all gotta.
No, but it is, though. I mean, but this is just par for the course, and we've seen this before. Again, these fake recruiting sites and people that pay money to follow recruits, and they're not really people and everything like this. $25 million high school stadiums in Texas. I mean, the high school football game, folks, I don't know if you know this or not, it's been corrupted for a very long time. It has, Joique.
What makes it corrupt?
All of this stuff. All of it. The public money for stadiums.
I tell you what's corrupt.
These incidents right here.
I tell you, recruiting is one of the biggest.
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest things. You got people going on there and paying. So I remember my nephew was trying to get into college, so he would have these people calling his phone, trying to be his recruiting coach. So they'll take all his film, they'll talk to coaches, they'll get the videos out to different coaches, different areas, and they kind of walk you through this process. And depending on how much you pay them will determine on how far they'll get you or how hands-on they are. You can buy a $200 package, a $500 package, $800. Oh, $1,500. I'll do everything for you. What? We don't need that.
And that's all part of it, Joique.
It's all part of it. You know what? We're fine. We don't need that. I know the industry. I know that I'm not a part. You don't have to call us anymore. You don't have to call us anymore. Like I don't, bro. This is. I'm telling you, like kids sports is one of the biggest paydays because parents don't know what they don't know.
No.
Right. So you dropping your kids off at football practice, you're dropping them off at soccer practice, you're dropping them off at baseball practice, and you just they're just at practice. You just happy to have that time off.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
You're just happy to have that time off.
Can confirm, everyone. I can confirm.
You're just happy to have that time off, and so you take them there, and then they come back home, and you're like, okay, what did you learn today? Oh, we learned how to do a 3-point stance. All right, what else? Well, we worked on that for a while. And then, but like now, that's why I like to sit there while my kids are at practice or while they're going through training.
Hey, let's talk about that, Joique, because that's a good thing, right? Whereas gets to a point and then you don't coach your kids. But if I show up at an arena and you see me standing on the glass or watching, you watch attitudes change or whatever, some of the coaching, or if they, even when we're on a bench or in an arena, that people tend to act a little bit differently.
That's very much true. That's very much true. And the thing is this, though, is if I don't like the way he's training, either my son or my nephew or my little cousins, or what I do is I go to them and say, listen, you're too soft on them. You need to pick it up. I don't want to see that soft. Oh, it's okay. Take it. No, none of that. That's not what I'm paying for. All right, so that way I don't have to be getting mad at my at my son or my nephews or my little cousin. I go right to the trainer, say, hey, pick it up. Now, today is fine. Tomorrow, none of that.
We're not having it.
No, we're not having it. No.
Harrison Metzler says on the YouTube thread, Jalen Green roots for Bishop Sycamore. So we're back on it. I knew D-Mac would like that one.
I like that.
But this is, to me, though, and Joique, you bring up a good point, because youth sports in America is, I don't even know the word to use for it. Corrupt, certainly, to some degrees. There's some good organizations out there.
They are.
But with all that being said, if you look at, and soccer, American soccer is a good example, because it's such a pay-for-play sport that the whole system isn't interested in producing the best talent. This whole system's interested in receiving the most revenue. That's what it is, man. And you're seeing it all the way across.
It's a cash-based business. This is a business. Everything you see around dealing with anything is a business, all right? And at the same time, if you have people taking their time out to come and spend time, then of course you're going to have to pay for it. I mean, you have to pay for babysitters. You have to pay for nannies. You have to pay for old parents. You got to pay for it. So if I'm paying for it, I want to make sure it's the best of the best.
Yep. Nick says youth sports are over-important in America, and that's certainly true. And I can break down some of the reasons why that is. I mean, looking at soccer, for instance, you have all these pay-for-play leagues, and these parents, and the travel leagues for baseball, and the travel leagues for everything else, and these parents sink in just tremendous amounts of money, thousands of dollars. I had a buddy of mine whose daughter played travel softball. Just thousands of dollars.
You got to think. If you have your kids training 3 to 4 times a week, every month, and they're charging anywhere between $60 to $90 a session, that adds up.
Yeah, 100%.
That adds up.
And in the end, the goal is to get the college scholarship or something like that. But you look at it in a sport like soccer or baseball, there's 9 scholarships, 9 point, whatever that stupid number is. The NCAA said 9.9 scholarships or whatever it is. They put that number out there, but there's 30 players on the team. So that means 20 players' families are paying their own way through school. Boy, that really seems to be kind of a moneymaker too, doesn't it?
It's follow the money. It's all. It's
What's
all
the question? The answer's money.
No, exactly. The answer's money. What's the question?
Yeah,
exactly. Breaking news.
Yeah.
For all you Lions fans, if you're worried, the Detroit Lions have claimed former Bengals kicker Austin Siebert on waivers, and also claimed former Browns wide receiver Kaderil Hodge.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So they got claimed off waivers because they were waived. So they were released, put on waivers for 24 hours, and then any team can take over their contract. And they take over that contract. They come to our team now, and you'll see some of the players that we release who clears waivers. All right, who clears waivers, they'll be back on our practice squad.
Yep.
Numbers game.
It is a numbers game. Speaking of a numbers game, and speaking about money, and speaking about college athletics, I want to talk about this Jimbo Fisher situation down at Texas A&M. He got another raise off a 9-1 season where they didn't really beat anybody. They got drummed by Alabama. I do want to talk about this, get Joique's thoughts on this as well, get D-Mac's thoughts on it, get your thoughts on it. Also, you're watching Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America, Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/Chopper Shop.
Back at it here, Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty here with you. Joique Bell will be back with us in just a couple of seconds. But I did want to talk about this because I was stunned to see this was the case. But the story dropped that Texas A&M, their football coach, Jimbo Fisher, the former Florida State guy, had a lot of success there, gave him a raise and a 3-year contract extension that will see his salary elevated to $9 million per year. And Jimbo Fisher signed a 10-year, $75 million contract originally to coach at Texas A&M. This isn't Nick Saban.
How many years in? Was he 10 year?
Yeah, I think he was he 4 or 5 years into that? Wow. I'll get the exact numbers.
Well, it goes to our other conversation about different leagues and money with minor league sports and stuff. But you look at the colleges right there, and you mentioned the NIL, Ohio State quarterback signing, 3-year autograph group. But there's money there. I mean, this just shows you that there's money out there everywhere, no matter where it's coming from. I mean, 7.5 wasn't enough. You needed 9. So, I mean, power to him, I guess.
Well, yeah. And I always got to give my qualifier,
crazy,
right,
yeah.
D-Mac, where I always have to say, get your money. If someone's going to give you your money, then get your money. I'm cool with that. It's just I don't understand this one because where did this come? It's not like
they just won a national championship, right? Oh
no, they didn't.
No,
they did lose to Alabama by almost 30 points.
Yeah, they lost. So that's the key. You got to keep it within 30.
Yeah, and they won. I guess they won the Orange Bowl last year. As you said, they went 9-1. But I mean, when you start breaking all that down, hey, some real cool wins you got on that schedule last year, where you beat Mississippi State and things like that. And they got the Orange Bowl win they got over North Carolina, which you'll hear a lot about North Carolina this year. But still, I mean, just to give that kind of bump, he was 5 years into that 10-year, $75 million deal. The college coach money is astronomical. And this really ties into to what we were talking about with, you look at what happened with the name, image, and likeness deal that was signed, that was actually announced this morning by Quinn Ewers, who was a Ohio State quarterback. He signed a name, image, and likeness deal with GT Sports Marketing. He's going to make $1.4 million over the next 3 years to sign autographs. That's what he's going to do. So
say it louder for the people in the back.
He signed a name, image, and likeness deal. This is Quinn Ewers. Don't worry, Michigan fans. You'll hear a lot about him over the next 2 to 3 years. You'll see him on your television screen. He signed a 3-year, $1.4 million contract to sign autographs for GT Sports Marketing. Now, remember, Jimbo Fisher signed a 10-year, $75 million contract to be the coach at Texas A&M and got a raise. Got a raise to $9 million per season. No conference championships, no national championships. Very plain vanilla, Michigan-esque 8-4 records during his time there. 26-10 is his overall mark. And that took a 9-1 season last year where they got crushed by Alabama. The money's out there. Joique, you came to college football the wrong time, man.
But I didn't. College sports. I'm still. We still.
D-Mac wants to fire up those conversations with the Oakland golf team again.
There you go.
I'm gonna ask you this because I'm not gonna say I came to college at the wrong time. How many D2 players have these deals?
Yeah, I've not heard of many.
Haven't.
Yeah, I've not heard of many.
All right, so I went to school at the right time.
Well played.
No, that is fair. But I mean, Joique, when you look at it though, again, being a college athlete, the college student athlete, that's dead. At the highest levels, the biggest programs, that's dead. Not that it wasn't a business before, but Joique, it's a business where you can point to and say those are the dollar figures.
Yeah, so this is going to be another reason guys go to these big universities for this reason, because they can, and I can't fault them. Pay me my money, because you'll say that like a lot of these guys will never go to the next level, right? And if they do go to the next level, they might not have that long of a career. And so it's good to be able to get what you can now and take it all in. I remember we had a player who came into the NFL. He had already made a couple $100,000 in college off a lawsuit, but I think this is the better option to go right here.
Right, but I mean, again, you're going to see these deals, and the numbers they're only going to get bigger. They're not going to get smaller, because D-Mac, this works like any other market. I mean, when your contract was up, I'm sure you met with your agent and you took a look around and said, hey, how do I comp versus that guy that just got $4 million per year? How do I comp versus a guy that got $8 million, $2 million, $1 million? I mean, it's a market now. Even for the college kids, it's a market.
Well, it's a market everywhere. Even when you look at the coaches, and this Jimbo Fisher deal only makes it for the next up-and-comer, maybe, or top of the head, who's going to get paid next. Is it a Ryan Day, or is it going to go? The money that in college can keep college coaches, good college coaches, there in the right programs. So it's not like you have to go to the next level to make all the money. Is the way it should be. The money's right there. And you look at some of these programs where guys realize, and I don't think it's just football, it's basketball, it's everything else, is that, I'm comfortable here. And that's why you see a lot of college guys, and obviously Nick Saban's the epitome of it, of staying where it is. But Dabo Swinney's is doing the same thing in Clemson. You look at all around, and we're talking $9 million. $9 million, that's the highest. That's arguably you're in the top 5% in the NHL in salary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying.
And to be real, like, I don't have a problem with it because, again, the supply and demand side of it. Nick Saban has proven to be worth every single penny they've ever given him. Nick Saban, the conversation we had yesterday, Nick Saban's underpaid. Underpaid versus what he provides. Alabama's making money off the fact that Nick Saban is their employee. Don't get that twisted. He has more than... My problem with the Jimbo Fisher thing is, based on what? Because you won at Tennessee last year? Like, big deal. Everyone wins at Tennessee now. Because you win 9-1, you beat... Listen to this. They beat Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Arkansas, South Carolina, Auburn, Tennessee. They got drummed by Alabama, and they beat North Carolina in the Orange Bowl. You know, I mean, that's what it is. They did get a win over Florida. It was number 4 in the country at the time. They beat them by a field goal. Okay, cool. But it's just, I don't understand this amount of money when the resume doesn't back it up. Because, but again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is me. This is misunderstanding on my part, D-Mac, because the market says he is. You know how I know? He got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's more, the buzz down there, and obviously it goes, this more is the question, does this, you have in SEC programs and stuff like this, but they're sort of solidifying in themselves to make themselves, like when you have deals like this, the argument about can they separate? Can a conference Power 5 separate from the NCAA?
I think the SEC
when they have the money, when it's proved that you can pay the coach this much, you're bringing in that money like an NFL team. So, you know, like the rules have changed, the game's changed. 2021, a lot of things have changed, and $9 million for your head coach. Well, at least he wins something.
Yeah. Joe Dexter says on our YouTube chat thread, he says Joique would have been the first Division II player to get some money.
I was gonna say that if somebody had to.
We'll never forget him torching my Northern Michigan Wildcats. LOL.
Oh, that
you
was
remember
a
that
good
game?
We'll play them. We play them every year. They were actually in our conference. So we will play. I hated that drive to Northern Michigan.
Oh,
that drive up. So for people, let me do the Michigan thing. So we have the. Is that right?
There you go. I like it.
Yeah. So it's like this. So you have the bridge. So you have to drive from Detroit all the way up here, get here, then drive all the way up here to the bottom of the Marquette, Michigan, to go and play Northern Michigan.
You guys went up the day before, right?
Yeah, we go up the day before.
Stay in a hotel
and play them and come back right after the game. So if you had an injury or something, that's a long ride back
Just
home.
sit in a bus.
And so that's for that game. And don't forget, when we played Michigan Tech, we were up here in Houghton. So we had to keep going. So we had to pass North. And so what they did well was every other year they switched when we played them away and when we played them home. Now I understand Michigan Tech, they had a long ride every way, except only when they played Northern Michigan. That was probably a short drive. But other than that, they had a long drive everywhere.
And there were no charter flights in that life.
No, it wasn't. After I left, like 2 years after I left, they started to get chartered.
Yeah.
I said, look at them stepping up. Look at Wayne State stepping up.
Because I'll tell you, we do that when we play at Green Bay and play at Milwaukee. When you get the charter, man, it's a 45-minute flight. You just fly over the lake and you're there. But if you take that bus...
We take that bus. You gotta go right. It's a long ride. It's a long haul.
It is
a long haul.
The charter life is the best life. There's no doubt about that. Ryan's reaction says anyone that makes more money than Luka Garza is overpaid. That's facts. Cody Engel says the numbers aren't going to get that much bigger. It'll probably level out, but the opportunities will increase. So Darren, I think the numbers will continue to get bigger. They will because when the next Nick Saban comes along, hey, where's my money? I'm a better coach than Jimbo Fisher. He makes $9 million a year. I want 10 because that's how it works.
It makes me wonder, does base salary matter? But name, image, likeness for coaches too. Some of these guys, why wouldn't they be able to capitalize on it?
They can.
Well, they can.
They can.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
saying. So you're going to see right? I don't know if you're going to see them escalating the salaries where the guys are getting 9-10 base salary from that. But when you add everything up, yeah, guys are going to head coaches, the Sabans, the top guys are probably going to be bringing in $10 million or so.
All right, so I do have a question, but before I want to say, I can drive. This is Chuck Brewer. I can drive longer in Michigan than it takes to get to Tennessee. Laugh out loud, and that's true.
But you're in Michigan the whole time.
But you're in Michigan the entire. If you start go past Monroe, Michigan on 75, you take 75 all the way up to past Michigan Tech. That might be all of a, depending on how you drive, could be a 12 to 14 hour drive, depending on how you drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuck also said they said in the 80s the salaries wouldn't get much bigger. The salaries are always going to get bigger. As long as the TV money gets bigger, the salaries are going to get bigger. Yep. Joe Dexter says, and we're talking, we're talking about the Ewers deal, the Ohio State quarterback as well. He just signed an autograph contract he'll sign autographs for 3 years for $1.4 million. Joe Dexter says it's an easy lotto ticket for companies. If Ewers hits big, they get a massive return on investment. If they don't, on to the next athlete that will give them that ROI.
So let me ask you this question. How will the NCAA recover? Because I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to wealthy institution, wealthy people, a wealth class, when something like this happens, they don't really comply, they react. They don't conform. They react. So will they minimize their scholarships if you come in, you take any type of likeness? Will they start adding this into the scholarship, into the contract when the kids come to school?
No, because there has to be some appeal to going to college, because otherwise, we'll see it with the NBA soon, where you could just go to the pros.
But what I'm saying is, say, you go from the pros, basketball is different from
from the NFL.
For now. And so when these kids are coming, say they have a full ride, that's the appeal. But they say, listen, you take any money for your name and likeness, then we can retract your full ride or turn it into a partial.
Well, don't they become employees at that point then? I mean, it's
so what's the difference between them being employees then, when they didn't get a dime, versus now?
And that's the rub. That's why we're where we are right now.
Exactly. So if this was the case when they voted unanimously on players being able to get paid for their name, image, and likeness, what's the difference? What was the difference, 20 years ago? What was the difference back then compared to now? What's the difference?
Yeah, because there wasn't a movement back then like there is now.
Right, and that just shows you the power when you come together. It shows you that. It shows you that. And then you having, people who aren't educated, just kind of on the process, and you have parents who might not know. But, initially, the first time I heard about it, I think it was Northwestern.
The players wanted to unionize.
Yeah, they did, and that's the first time I heard that. I said, we can do that.
See, and your look on your face right there, Joique, that's the answer.
Yeah, we can do that. And so for me,
you can try.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that happened. It needed to happen, and kudos to those guys. What's up, Art?
Just signaling to Neal that we're getting ready for a break, but thank you I was literally doing this. So that's all. Thank you.
You had your hand raised.
Nope, I literally was going like this.
Your hand is raised.
Oh, I didn't know you had eyes behind the back of your head, but okay.
I had eyes. I was, I catch you out my peripheral.
Good. Can you please go do a bathroom break, please?
I'm good now.
How about I tell you about Lady Jane's? How about that instead?
That'd be great.
How about Lady Jane's?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like football 5 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Everybody but Art. There's no helping Art, but hey, the rest of us, you can sit in, get handsome and clean. Go to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days per week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Talk about it right now while we're on the air.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also on the radio, The Roar, 93.5 FM, Detroit's new all-sports station, 99.1 FM, and also on 94.7 HD2, WCSX HD2 as well. He is Joique Bell, former Detroit Lions great. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. You know who that dude is. 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Fish in the bowl. Arturo, Flint's very own, in the production booth. We are coming down the stretch. The Lions sign a kicker. Austin Siebert has been signed. I don't know what the contract implications are. He was in the middle, right in the middle of a 4-year contract. 4 years, $2.78 million contract with the Cincinnati Bengals. So, yeah, roughly, what's that, about $700,000 a year, give or take a couple of bucks. So, right there, you see some savings, and that's why the Matt Prater thing didn't go down. Prater's making $3.5 million. Siebert's going to be there at $780,000. I'm very cool with it. I see that the Lions are playing the long game. I get that they have to talk to the media and say, hey, hope, we plan to make the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. But you see what kind of game they're playing financially. That's what I'm concerned about. Real quickly, Joe, before we wrap this thing up, I did want to get your thoughts on this because we're talking about the name, image, and likeness. And I've always wondered about this because do you ever see the day coming where high school football players can go straight to the league?
No. God, no. They get killed. No. They need... Listen... I'm all for, basketball players doing it. Hey, even baseball players doing it. But if you're talking about football, this game that we're playing in, you need those extra couple of years to develop as a young man and to becoming a man. And that's what college helps. It helps you with that. To go from, high school weighing 205 pounds, 210 pounds, and then all of a sudden you go into the NFL. I mean, because college for me, I graduated at 217, right? And that was my senior year, but I went into college at about 200 pounds, 205. I got up to about 220 at one point in time and dropped back down to about 217 where I felt good. But I needed those years to put that weight on. You need those years for development, right? Now you have some kids who might, it's a thing where people will hold their kids back and have them graduate at 18, about to turn 19, in order for them to be more physically inclined than their opponents. So they do that.
Larry Fitzgerald went to a prep school too, so he played 2 years of college football, then could go to the NFL draft. Yeah. There are things you can do.
Yeah, it's things you can do around that. But straight from high school, graduating high school, go, high school at 14 or finish at 17 and then go straight to the NFL, I don't know. It's just dangerous. It's dangerous.
Well, D-Mac, I mean, that's a route for hockey. What about you? You lived it. You played juniors. Do you think you were capable?
Sets you up for the NHL.
You think you were capable of going to the league from leaving high school?
I went from junior. I graduated, but you know what I mean? As younger, there's 18-year-olds that can because you learn to play the physicality of the game. You'll play against men, but only few can make the jump. And it doesn't matter the size in hockey. Wayne Gretzky did it.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby.
You got Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid. So they're specialized because your maturity as the hockey player to protect yourself and not get killed. But again, you look at some of the smaller guys coming in the league. You look at the Hughes brothers, for example. You got Jack and Quinn right now. Their brother Luke just got there. They have to take time to develop into the league. So it depends on where your development is.
Right, and we had Shad 216JF says, what about a G League for football? But I would say, why would you pay for it when the colleges are a free minor league system?
And especially with NIL now.
Yeah.
So that changes the whole thing because you have eliminated the conversation of what you can or you can't do because it's open now. And I think there might be more opportunity.
And if you're the NFL, you have a minor leagues that you don't pay for, unlike hockey where they have the agreements with the OHL teams, and unlike baseball where a lot of times the major league clubs do the same thing. They fund a lot of the players and they pay the contracts and all that kind of stuff. You have a free minor league system if you're the NFL right now.
You have a free, yeah. But I think with hockey too, whether it's the juniors, whether it's over in Europe where your guys get drafted, or even college, like that's where guys come out for, and it all depends on what kind of development do you want in your players, right? So the closest thing that an NHL game, well, see now it's changed. right? I'd say go play in Europe because that's closer to the NHL game. You look at why Mo Sider, why Joe Veleno, are going to be able to step in and are expected to is because the game internationally is so much bigger. Used to be to learn the 66 games, to learn the bus trips, to learn the fight, and to learn the grind and stuff like that, playing 3-4 days a week, you played junior hockey, right? Because that was more of the NHL game. Faster track there. So
yeah, it's just interesting.
It's different.
Yeah, and I get that it's different. It's just it kind of goes into that whole, denying my right to earn a living. I mean, if you're a gifted piano player and you're in the music department at a university, and some tour wants to scoop you up, you pick up and you go whenever you want.
Honest though, in the broadcast industry itself, there's contracts and non-competes that bar you from making a living outside. So I mean, it's not just inside of the college system; it's in a lot of businesses with non-competes. So
yeah, I mean that's different because you're a professional. You sign the contract. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, but to me, they're
that.
providing a scholarship for you, which is great, and they're providing you the ability to play football. But if it wasn't for your ability, they wouldn't sign you on. So to me, it's kind of similar in the sense to where you can't compete in the sense of earning a living if you're a college athlete. Now you can because of NIL. I think it's a beautiful thing.
No, I get it. I just just a little something to kick back and forth. I always wanted to get a football player's perspective on that. You know what I'm saying? Just is the physical thing that everybody talks about real? And you say it is. So
no, it's
definitely real.
Now it's funny because people will ask me what's the hardest hit I've ever taken on the football field, and I would say it was a high school game. I was a quarterback, and I got hit right under my chin, and my head was banging for about 3 days. I didn't know it was a concussion until after the fact, but that was probably the toughest one I ever hit, toughest hit I ever took playing the game. But definitely, when you get to the NFL, you playing against these 350-pound men who are coming off that defensive line. They can run a 4.7, 4.8, 40, and they're coming up and they coming screaming. You better have your head on the swivel.
Right. Yeah,
they coming now. They coming.
And with bad intentions.
Yeah. So I'll never forget we were playing the Packers, and I guess we had some type of mix-up. And I remember the guard just totally left the nose guard just straight down the middle, and I had to block him. And I went to cut him, and I flew back. I slid but I'm cutting him, and I didn't fly back on my back, but my cleats just slid back about 3 or 4 yards when I tried to take his legs out. And this is how strong this guy's legs are for me to go and throw my full body into his legs at my size and bounce back. And not only bounce back, but I had my cleats in the grass, and so it was good power, but my cleats slid back about 3 yards. And I fell on my face, but hey, we got the ball off. So I did my job.
You did the job. You paid the price, though.
I paid the price, but my quarterback was clean, though.
Yeah.
And so that's crucial. You keep a clean quarterback.
What's the hardest you ever got hit, D-Mac?
I told Mike Keene in Dallas coming around the net with my head down. He hit me so hard that I lost my helmet, my gloves, my elbow pad. I thought I broke my arm.
Yeah.
Nah, I never had much of that. So, but it was so funny. I got hit so hard that when I realized I was all right, and then I just had to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm on the screen, and it's like, you got me. I mean, you get me, I'll get. I'll give you props, but I'm gonna get you back.
Hey, so have you ever got hit and then went home and watched it on TV?
Yeah.
Huh?
Some of the hardest ones, or they look the worst, are not the ones. It's the ones that
Joique said that before. Yeah.
The ones that you might not notice, I broke a rib on absolutely didn't even look like it was just another. Took a hit, getting the puck out. I'd done it a million times, but the way that I got hit and I turned, I knew something was wrong. But usually the big ones aren't the ones that hurt.
Nah.
They look cool, though.
They're good for the highlight reels.
Yeah, they're absolutely good for the highlight reels. Robert says on our YouTube chat thread, says MLS has a minor league system they don't have to pay for. It's called the rest of the world, which kind of is not true, though, Robert. They do have a minor league system, USL, United Soccer League. I called some matches for them for ESPN down in Florida. It was actually pretty cool. All the matches are called from a studio down in Florida, and you can leave one studio, do a New York game, leave the studio, go out, do the El Paso game. It's pretty sweet. So you can do
wow.
Yeah, you can do 3 matches in one day. It's cool. Good check, too.
It is.
It was a good check. So, just wrapping up the show here. Did want to touch on this for a second. Rachel Nichols was let go from ESPN. She's contemplating legal action against them. She was let go from the jump about some of the. She was on a private phone call. She was on a private phone call that was overheard and recorded.
Right, and the thing is, I think some states have one party where one party can be recorded without the other party knowing. But I think in that case, neither party knew that they were being recorded.
Yeah, Michigan's a two-party system.
Here's the thing, right? So it was Maria. It was something that was, and she didn't. In my opinion, Rachel Nichols didn't say anything like to downtrodden. But the fact that ESPN now doesn't have Maria Taylor, who went to NBC, or Rachel Nichols, right? Is that I don't get what the whole purpose was behind them. Was it the object to lose both of them?
Well, and here's what an attorney says too, that in my opinion, ESPN doesn't have a leg to stand on. I should hope for their own sake that they reached a settlement with her or paid her a lot of money. So, I mean, this is something that clearly there's an issue between the company and the talent, but at the same time, like, the talent's got a lot of room to get some money possibly because, like Joique said, there's a private phone conversation, It
was. So, yeah, she's going to get paid. But I don't know. Do you walk away from something that you love? But there's other radio or other TV.
She will have no problem finding a job. No problem whatsoever. She's very nice too. She was here.
Listen, I don't know about you guys, but you do me like that, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm coming. So, I mean, good. I hope she because it's what's right or wrong, and the way that was handled, I believe, there's a lot of things going on in this world, but I think that she has definitely a case.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is the classic example of both things can be true. Should she have said it? Nope. Should somebody have recorded the conversation and done that? Nope. Both things.
Right.
Both things can be true.
That's the golden rule. The golden rule. Both things can be true.
Yeah, so Canuck Duke says cash her out and move on, which is probably what will end up happening. A big check will be cut, and that will be the end of that. Nice day out there today.
She got caught lacking. All right, Shay 216JF. She got caught lacking. She did.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful day out there today. These are the days you live for, man. The upper 70s. What you got popping today, Joique? Anything?
Yeah, I'm about to head to the west part of the state to, start that routine with my son in the morning for his first away game.
Absolutely. So you are not in tomorrow then?
V-mixing in tomorrow.
V-mixing in tomorrow. Yeah. All right. We got today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Get the days all mixed up. Friday we'll be at Arts Beats and Eats, right?
Yep.
Arturo?
I think, yeah.
Is it Arturo Beats and Eats on Friday?
Arturo Beats and Eats. I think it is. For Joique Bell, for Darren McCarty, for Arturo, for Fish, for all of you here at Woodward Sports Network, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thank you, everybody, for watching Big D Energy. Let them know, Joique.
Gang.
Well,
gang.
See you later.